Hey guys, it's Yishan here. I just taught my remote duel local. 4-round locals, went 3-0-1 with a tie at the end. Managed to get first place due to some lucky matchmaking, but I want to show you guys this deck. It is a budget frog deck profile. It runs no Paleozoics. It's got some spicy tech, and most of all, you can build it for under $100. Like if you want to get every single card. You could go even literally under $50 and skip out on like one card. And honestly, this deck is still really good. It can compete with the meta. It has decent matchups against everything. It's really fun. It's also quick. So if you don't really like grinding out with traps all that much and you want to play faster, but still have some sort of interaction with your opponent, this is a fantastic deck. I call this deck Normal Frog Turbo. Let's take a look at the deck. Alright, so first, of course, you've got to start off with the best frog ever printed. That would be 3 Swap Frog. Now, Swap Frog, what it can do is it dumps a bunch of your frogs to the graveyard, like Dupe Frog and Ronin Toadin. So Ronin Toadin really gives you a nice grind game. Honestly, I'm considering playing 3 Ronin Toadin. You could banish a Dupe Frog or a Swap Frog from your graveyard, do special Ronin Toadin back, make more totally awesome plays. Your big boss monster in the deck. Toad is so broken. So, how does this deck differ than Paleo? Well, Paleo is a bit slow. It very rarely gets Toad on the first turn unless it draws like Swap and Dupe or Swap and Ronin together. But, you know, that's very inconsistent. You're usually just going to hope for draw Swap or set a bunch of traps. And sometimes you go games without ever drawing a Swap Frog. Not in this deck. In this deck, we play triple Rescue Rabbit. Now this is a fantastic card. Why? Well, turns out you can summon 2 level 2 Aqua normal monsters like Slime Toad, previously known as Frogajam, or Psychic Kappa, some spicy techs. Right, so the Rescue Rabbit lets you summon 2 of these out. Boom, that's a free Toad on the first turn. Never seen a Paleo deck do that in my life. Really good. Rescue Rabbit, really high ceiling card. Less people are playing Imperm, so really good as well. We've got some more normal monster support as well. I really like running these 6 normal monsters because a lot of times you're going to be able to special 1 normal monster out and normal summon another normal monster from your hand, and you're going to want to make Toad that way. So we'll go into that, but this is how you make Toad really fast and why I call it Normal Frog Turbo. Now, let's go over the price so far. Nothing. This basically costs you nothing. You know, they're going to be less than $1, less than $1. I think you can get these for less than $1. You can probably get all these for less than $1 as well. So far, extremely budget. Everything's super cheap. And we're going to get the next card, Ash Blossom. This probably might be the most expensive card in the main deck, but you can find these for relatively cheap. And you might already have triple Ash Blossom laying around. A lot of the cards that you might be missing for this deck that cost a little bit of money, they're like really basic staples. You probably have these lying around. I'd recommend playing 3 Ash Blossom. It's what I played at the tournament. I also played 3 DD Crow at the tournament. Honestly, this card was so for me. You know, it really depends. You can play something else. I was thinking about playing Book of Moon, another very cheap but very effective card. Helps against that Zoo matchup that this deck can struggle a little bit with, because Zeus can be hard to deal with. But yes, I'll maybe try playing Book of Moon instead of this. I don't know. You know, do whatever you want, basically. Do whatever you want. But again, you know, nothing expensive needs to be put in here. Book is super cheap. Triple Desires also super cheap. Really good in this deck. One of the reasons you run 6 normal monsters is because you want this Desires to not banish everything. I honestly would consider running a triple or a 3rd Ronin Toadin to avoid Desires banishing. A lot of DD Crows, Ice Dragons, Prison running around. I might want a 3rd Ronin Toadin. So yeah, that's a thought I was thinking about. So maybe kind of like a DD Crow for them. I don't know, you know. Lots of interesting stuff. We got triple Unexpected Die. This basically lets you just special summon a Slime Toad or a Psychic Kappa straight from your deck. So, you know, like if you open Ronin Toadin and that, you know, you special summon a Psychic Kappa or a Slime Toad from your deck, no more Ronin Toadin, boom, I made a Toad right there. So you've got 3 Unexpected Die, 3 Swap Frog, 3 Rescue Rabbit. You're really likely to get a Toad out on the first turn. And so I really like Unexpected Die as this card. So last spell card, we run 1 Call by the Grave. Really good in this deck to force through that Toad. Once you get the Toad out and start that Toad chain, start to control your opponent. And once you get out early, you know, like, for example, even if you don't draw Swap Frog, you know, if you get Rescue Rabbit to make Toad, Rescue Rabbit, or that Toad can summon the Swap Frog, dump your Ronin Toad, get your engine going, basically. So no matter how you start, you can get your engine going and really control the game. But it's really fast because we're not playing the Paleo traps. We're not trying to make Toad on the second turn. We're trying to make it now, right? Okay, let's get into the traps. Since we're not playing Paleos, we can afford to play the really good trap cards. Triple Solemn Strike, Triple Solemn Judgment worked well for me all day. So really would recommend these cards. Honestly, these are also still pretty cheap. So yeah. I played, for another trap card, I played Triple Impermanence. These are not cheap, but honestly, these were not that good. I would have rather them been basically a different hand trap, honestly. A different hand trap would have been better. Honestly, probably Sakuretsu Armor would have been better than this card. Just not the greatest right now. You could play Book of Moon over this. You know, I was thinking you could play Triple Book. You could cut maybe a Dita Crow and play like Upstart and Extra Ronin. And then you got one card left to play whatever you want, basically. So honestly, like the reason I'm calling this deck a budget deck is because I would replace this card. I would not play this again. And you definitely do not need this card. And then one Imperial Order, you know, sometimes you draw it and it's good and it wins you the game, and also really cheap. So honestly, the main deck, basically nothing costs money. Like I said, you don't really want to play Imperms anyway, but that's what I played at the tournament, so I feel like I had to show it to you guys. But honestly, this deck could be a budget deck. This whole main deck probably costs less than $40, less than $1 a card, I think. So yeah. I really look forward to pick that up. Toad, you know, hey, they reprinted that stuff in Maximum Gold. Triple Toad in the extra deck. Now it's like $2, honestly, from the Maximum Gold rare versions. Super cheap. Just pick these up. Hey, it's so much fun. Once you get this card rolling, you know, it is a house of a card, as I like to say. It is a house of a card. Do not mess with it. But really good. Negates, it takes your opponent's stuff. The effect to summon frogs is super good in this deck. Like I said, hey, once you get the toads rolling, there's really no coming back for your opponent. Okay. Next, we have two other rank 2s, Sky Cavalry Centura and the Phantom Knights of Cursed Javelin. Honestly, I never summoned these. I summoned these like once, but they don't really ever come up. Maybe there's some better rank 2s you guys can think of. I just had some extra space, and so I was like, oh, let's play these. You know, this can out some weird cards sometimes. Also works well with the next card. The only card that I would recommend you get if you have the funds, Divine Arsenal Azus. This card's like around $40-something. So honestly, this will be about a $100 deck. You only need one of these, but if you do have a $100 budget, just pick this up. If you want to play $50 budget, hey, no problem. You don't need to play this card at all. But I would say that if you have a $100 budget, hey, and if you already have this card, like you pulled it or something, then this deck is extremely cheap. Like if you have this and 3 Ashes, this deck costs you nothing. You can just add a new deck to your collection for basically nothing. Now, if you're gonna play the Azus, you definitely want to play the Downer Magician. Basically, what this does is it can stack on one of your rank 2s. And give your Zeus 2 sends. So you definitely want to do that. Really powerful. I'd recommend it, but again, you know, like I said, if you don't have it, no problem. Just play 3 Toads. Toad is almost always good enough. Okay. For some links, you know, you play some Staple Nightmares. Again, really cheap. You know, they just got reprinted in Genesis Impactor. Just fantastic. You know, you want these. Some more cheap links here. We've got Boral Sword and Boral Load. I recommend if you have an access code talker, play it. Honestly, there was like one time I would have seen it today, but Boral Sword did the job fine as well. So yeah, if you have it, you should definitely play it. But if you don't, again, no problem. You know, it's a budget deck, no worries. No need for access code. You just need a Boral Sword and a Boral Load. Really easy. One Mistar Boy, again, super cheap. I summon it sometimes. Can be useful to get your toads bigger than something, while not committing too much. So yeah, you know, I'd recommend Mistar Boy again. Now, I played this and I never summoned it again. You don't really need these. I was just thinking, like, maybe if I wanted to go into, like, higher link plays, I'd summon Hockey Fibrax, like, if I had an Ash in my hand. But honestly, again, you don't need to play these. One thing I would recommend you play for sure, though, is a Link Spider, because you can use, you know, for example, you can use, the normal monsters to out TC Boo with Link Spider. You can use it just, you know, if you just need something in the graveyard. I might even recommend Salamangreat Almirage too, to link away monsters that have less than 1,000 attack, like Swap Frog, for example. So honestly, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'd recommend, but that is that. So I might recommend Salamangreat Almirage and Link Spider, usually also pretty cheap cards. Okay, side deck. So far, everything's been super cheap except for the Zeuses, right? And maybe the Ash. I don't know how much Ash is, but probably not more than $10. Probably much less. We got one Pankratops. So yeah, I mean, it's like really good, really cheap, great going second. One Harpies. Pretty cheap, I believe, because it got that Maximum Gold print. And then we've got some Floodgates, 3 Rivalry, 3 Gozen. Honestly, I might cut the Gozens, because I think Rivalry's better. Gozen just doesn't come up very much. Rivalry comes up. It's good against Drytron, actually, going first. It's good against Virtual World. So yeah, but Gozen match is not as good as Rivalry. For some hand traps I play on the side, I played 3 Gamma and 1 Driver. Honestly, you could turn these into like cycle readers or something if you want to improve your Drytron matchup. I played against 0 Drytrons because it just came out, but I think cycle reader is pretty cheap and a good replacement. And then of course we have 3 Cosmic Cyclone. You can play Twin instead if you want. I just tried out the Cosmic because a lot of traps, you know, they like have effects in Grave, you know, so I was thinking, oh, Cosmic will probably be pretty good. So yeah, that's it, guys. I got first place with it. I played against a Zoo Eldritch, so some pretty meta stuff. I played against Unchained and a Paleo Frog, which I was able to grind out because I had so much more pressure with my, although I did draw Swamp Frog more. I will admit it's really important to draw Swamp Frog in that matchup, but I was able to grind out with my normal monsters to push through its traps. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Your budget frogs, really good, really fun, really strong, really cheap. And honestly, the great thing about this deck is now that Toad to 3, it's always going to be competitive in the meta. So, guys, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. I've got a Grenmaju first place remote duel local video coming out as well because I talked twice this week. I play at Project CCG. The link to Project CCG will be in the description below if you guys want to join the Discord server and play some remote duels yourself. I'd recommend it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and until next time, guys, I will see you guys in the next video.